Hi there, everyone. My name's Michelle from HazardCo, and this is Tom, who I will introduce a little bit more in a minute or so. This webinar is all about Project Plus, what it is and how it's going to up your health and safety game on site. Now, I know this presentation, we've kind of set aside 45 minutes. It's probably not going to take that long. We know that you're all very, very busy. So thank you for attending. Throughout the presentation, you're probably going to have questions. So feel free to type any questions in the chat box. Our HazardCo team are actually waiting in the wings, ready to answer any questions you have about Project Plus or anything else in real time. For whatever reason, maybe you've got a really big technical question and maybe they can't get it in real time during this presentation, we will get to your question afterwards. And of course, we will be sending out a recording of this afterwards. Of course, there's been heaps of registrations for this webinar, but we know things crop up and everyone's busy, so we will be sending this out to you all. So Project Plus, what is it and why did we build it and how is it going to help you up your health and safety game on site? So your subbies have always been able to download the HazardCo app free of charge, complete a free registration, and that's so they can scan in and out of your sites via the hazard board and the QR code and complete an induction for you, which is kept for your business records. So that's always been the case. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can download the app for free to do that for you. Project Plus means what it is that free registered subcontractor can scan onto a Project Plus site and the full HazardCo app unlocks for them to use while on your site. So that's task analysis, risk assessments, site reviews. They can record incident near misses via the app while on your site. What makes that great about Project Plus is you automatically get a copy of your subbies health and safety reporting saved to your hub for your records, and they actually get emailed a copy for their business as well. Like any business, HazardCo spends time and energy thinking, hey, what are our customers' problems and how are we going to solve them? So the big question, of course, is why do we build Project Plus and what problem does it solve for you? How does Project Plus really up your health and safety game on site? So to really explain, why we've done this, I introduce Tom properly now. Okay, so Tom is one of our senior health and safety experts. What Tom is particularly good at, in my very strong opinion, is actually translating health and safety legislation to practical, real-world applications. I feel like I speak to hundreds of our HazardCo customers, and quite often the old school way of health and safety paperwork, sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect of imagining how on earth this paperwork is actually going to keep people safe on site in a practical real-world scenario, and that it's not just a tick box exercise. So Tom's fantastic at kind of translating legislation to the real world. So I'm going to hand you over to Tom, who's going to share some real-world scenarios and stories where Project Plus would have really, really helped out. So Tom, I'm going to hand it to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you, team, for being here today. I really appreciate your time, and we all do, because we know you're probably really incredibly busy at this time. I just wanted to start by really confessing, I still remember the first day that I had a major incident on our building sites, on the building site, the previous place I worked at. And the emotion and the stress and the kind of anxiety that is brought with it when you're then faced with kind of having to go and relive and find the paperwork and get all of the information and talk with WorkSafe and deal with the kind of consequences, as well as having somebody seriously injured. So the way I kind of thought the best way to explain the legislation and how this kind of works with Project Plus is to tell you a story of a real life set of experiences that I've been through. Some things that our customers have faced as well, and kind of put them together into a pretend story just to keep anonymity for everyone. So I'm going to put a story together, and it's about Joe Hazard. He's a building contractor. He's a pretty busy guy. He's a developer of a set of buildings. He's doing about 15 builds at the moment. One in particular is the one we're going to focus on today, which is up in the Wellington suburb. Nice sunny day, and on that site he's got a builder's apprentice, and a painter, fully scaffed, second level floor. It's a two-story. They're doing the cladding. They've finished half of the cladding, and they are getting some of it painted while the apprentice is stapling up the rest, nailing up the rest. Whilst they're on site, the supervisor has obviously got about 5 other different sites to go on. They're pretty clued up. This Hazard Joe Hazard site on their health and safety, and they've got the hazard board in place, they've got their triple SP, they're a normal premium customer of ours in terms of they've got their site pack and project kicked and going. Everyone's logged in and done their inductions. It's great, day to day. So the painter in this scenario is up on the second story of the scaff, like any other. I'm sure many of you have the painters up there. Been working for a while. He's sat down on the scaff, done with the suffites, and he goes to take a lean back, just to lean against the centre mid-rail on the scaff. And unfortunately, unbeknownst to him, that mid-rail was missing, and he takes a pretty serious fall, 2 stories down to the deck, and he's in a pretty serious way. So, obviously the builder's apprentice sees this and he's shocked, runs over to the main builder and lets him know, starts kicking into gear the emergency actions that they need to do. Call 111, get the ambulance involved, and then they run over to the hazard board and they see the emergency plan and they give their supervisor a call. He's off site, but he's straight away on the phone, he's on his way to site, and he gives HazardCo a call. Gets through to the advisory line and the incident line, and they advise him that, hey, look, that fall's pretty serious and it potentially could be notifiable to WorkSafe, and that the supervisor needs to contact WorkSafe as soon as possible, and the best means either by phone or via online. So they go ahead and do that. The supervisor arrives on site and it kicks into gear. So WorkSafe arrive on site. They do sometimes the serious incidents pretty quickly. And for this story, it's all about now what WorkSafe are kind of wanting to know. So WorkSafe's got a very important role. They've got to regulate what the law is to what's actually being done on site. We all kind of get cleared and freaked out about this stuff, but they're kind of looking really at some things of like, mainly 5 sections I'm going to focus on here because these are really applicable to the Project Plus stuff. Is Section 36, primary duty of care. You're trying to make this building site free of risk as best as possible, most reasonably practicable. Due diligence and making sure that they have these controls being put in place and has everything been checked on and made sure that you've got safe systems of work in place and so on. Have the risks being managed, have workers being engaged with and made sure that they're there, and participation, among other things. So on this thing, they're going, hey, look, okay, has everyone been inducted to site? Was this painter and everyone else inducted to site? Well, yeah, they're on a normal project of ours, quite easy. They've done their QR codes. We've got evidence of inductions, easy to find from that. They say, is there a safe system work for the work that's being carried out on the building site? The builder shows them the triple SP that they created with the project, and those controls are in place. Then they start kind of asking a few more questions like, have toolbox talks been done? Were they done that day? Where they talked about how they were going to be working separately or working alone, that kind of stuff. And then it comes to the problem of the supervisor was on site and he's switched on, he's always doing his stuff, he's going to all these sites doing these things, but he was left with these contractors on site, and they had to then ring, basically Joe's supervisor was saying, guys, give me your evidence, and show me your toolbox talk, show me all the stuff that WorkSafe is asking for. Of course, they're digging around in all their glove boxes, they're trying to find muddy bits of paperwork. They've been to 5 different sites that week, they've got mixed up ones from different sites. Some they haven't even done anything at all for a while. So they're kicking around like trying to find all this stuff at this key, critical, stressful time where WorkSafe's really wanting to find this evidence. And they go through asking for site reviews. Had a site review been done recently? Joe's supervisor had done one in the last couple of weeks. He picked up some problems and they had been actioned and sorted, but it hadn't been done for the recent stages that the build was at. Then they're also kind of looking around at other parts of and you can see where this is going. They start looking and digging for it, and they start asking all their contractors for evidence that they may have been doing. So remember, Joe Hazard, he's a PCBU, person conducting business undertaking, and very important that he has these duties to abide by. But also those contractors are their own business, the builder and the painters are their own business too. So they've got all these duties too. And they can cooperate and coordinate with each other to actually make life easier for each other by doing all of this stuff as a team. It takes a team to build a house, it takes a team to do safety. So obviously you can see that this was a bit of a nightmare and the stresses and so on. And there could be the potential that there was a lacking of due diligence, that this checking hadn't been done, and that is a potentially prosecutable offence. So let's take this scenario and then we're going to take it to a site with Project Plus and make it, how could this have been done better? How could Project Plus have helped out Joe the builder and his team and all his contractors, and this person that's obviously had a serious incident. So with Project Plus, obviously, as Michelle pointed out, it unlocks all the opportunity for the app to be able to be used by all your contractors to get that digital paperwork, that easy stuff that you guys find easy for you and your employees, in the hands of all your contractors. Now, your contractors have got their own safety systems, maybe they're not HazardCo customers, they've got their own stuff, that's fine. Now, what's important is that they're keeping records for you attached to that kind of bill. So what Joe does with this, with Project Plus, he does differently. He's still got the plan, do, check, act part of it. He's still trying to plan for his building site, still does his SSD. He still puts all the controls in place that is really important to keep people safe on site. And the checking is slightly different this time. Instead of his supervisor being the only one of his employees running around all these sites doing all the checking and the site reviews and then asking for some paperwork that's all muddy and outside of glove boxes, he's now able to say, I'm going to give you all some expectations for my site. I expect you, painter, to do a risk assessment before you start work that day. For the builders, maybe you do a site review. You're on site for a month or so can you please do at least one site review a month? Maybe do a task analysis for any high risk work. Maybe the scaffolders could have done that because that's pretty high risk work. And you can see that they're providing this stuff and they're being given the opportunity to use the app and they can plug it all in and it's all visible for them. They get a PDF copy, goes into their records, none of this glove box stuff. Digital copy shoves over to the main contractor, Joe, so he can see it as well. And so can the supervisor. You can see that these expectations that were given have been done. So when WorkSafe do turn up on site and the incident did occur, WorkSafe say, everyone been inducted? Yeah, here's the evidence. Have any toolbox talks been done? Open up the hub. Yeah, here are the records of the toolbox. One done this morning. Awesome. Risk assessments. Yeah, painter did one before he started up. We made sure he did one every single time he started his work. Triple SPs in place. TAs were done for the scaffolding. Unfortunately, what actually happened on this occurrence is that the builders had actually taken that mid-rail out to take some roof panels up, and they hadn't put it back. Now, potentially, they could have picked that up in a site review that day and gone around, or if they'd done a risk assessment beforehand and said, there's a mid-rail missing here on my scaff, that's not right. Contacted the supervisor, got this, or got it repaired in place before carrying out work. Joe, for his due diligence, coming back to that again, really, really important, that due diligence is Joe sits in his thing, managing those 15 sites, can see a dashboard from his hub of all the sites, all those expectations he gave to all of his workers. Have any of them been done? You can see some graphs and some cool metrics to see whether those things have been done. And part of the due diligence, if they're not being, he can hold them accountable for them not being done. So all in all, you can see there's a slight difference, all that kind of running around, that high stress situation, the incident that's occurred, this person who's been injured, versus one where it could be very different. It still takes you doing the doing, but we provide you the tools that just make it so much easier. And that's why the team here were really, really eager to get Project Plus underway for the sites. And hopefully that helps you out, gives you something to go away with, some really good idea of it. And I'll pass over back to you, Michelle. That's right.
Thanks, Tom. So Project Plus, look, the dream for us is that at the end of the day, we're helping keep people at the top of the ladder safe. In Tom's story, the top of the scaffolding safe. The dream is that people can use the guided content of the HazardCo app to actually pick stuff up before something happens. If something still happens, that we give you the tools as a business to go, boom. You're not scrambling. You've got everything that you need for evidence of health and safety and your great operations right in one place. And it just it's a real testament to, we know you're busy. We know that people are operating huge amounts of sites. Now, if you've got one project manager, 5 project managers, you've still got lots of sites. They've all got lots of things going on. So putting health and safety in the tools of everyone has professional different goggles. Like your painter has different professional health and safety goggles and might notice something before your electrician, for example. So putting guided health and safety content in everyone's hands. Everyone's got eyes, everyone's got ears, and this will help you keep great evidence and hopefully give people the tools to pick stuff up before anyone falls through a missing mid-railing. That is the dream for us, all right? So I'm just going to play you a really short video on what Project Plus looks like for your subbies at the other end. So give me 1 second here and I'll play that video for you.
Hi there.
So you've got the job and you've arrived to site, and your main contractor has told you that this is a HazardCo Project Plus site. What does it mean for you? It means that your main contractor is providing you the HazardCo app to record great health and safety reporting on their site free of charge to you. So go to your Apple or Play Store and download the HazardCo app free of charge. Once you've downloaded the app, just click at the bottom there, create a free account. Create your free account just by putting in small details. Like your email address, what company you work for, your phone number, and just pick yourself a password. You only have to do this once when you first sign up. Done. Now, every time you go onto any HazardCo site and you see that QR code, you can now scan onto site, do an induction. But on a Project Plus site, you'll be able to use the app to create task analysis, risk assessment, site reviews, toolbox meetings, and you can report an incident or near miss on the main contractor's site as well. Let me show you. So I signed into site. I've got some great details about the emergency, first aid, etc. Sign on in. It knows who I am because we've just done that free register. Next. Unfortunately, at the moment, we still need to ask those COVID questions. And because it's my first time to site, it's going to push me through some safety induction questions as well. I'm aware of the site's emergency plan. I've got the PPE. I've read the contents of the SSSP. Done. So now that I'm in my Project Plus site, there is a notice board that can update you with anything that's going on site. You can see here, toolbox meeting Friday 10 a.m. with sausage rolls. Don't be late. You don't want to miss that. You can also see any site emergency details or documents relating to the site, etc. So it's going to let you know you are on a Project Plus site. So now you can complete any one of these great reports, task analysis, risk assessment, site review, toolbox meeting, and reporting an incident, all from your phone. If you need any troubleshooting with this practice, please get hold of us. Please give us a call on 0800 555 339. And if at the end of the day, when it's time to definitely go home, click that green circle and you can just go ahead and leave site, leaving a great record for your main contractor, who was on site and when, and giving you the tools to do great HazardCo reporting free of charge for you. Your main contractor automatically gets a copy, but you're emailed one for your business as well. So there's no doubling up. Any questions, give us a call, but enjoy working on your Project Plus site. Have a great day. So as you can see, guys, Project Plus is really, really simple for your subbies. All they need to do is download the app, which chances are they already have done. Do a free registration. Chances are they've already done that as well. Just the difference on the Project Plus site, it means that you're giving them the tools and sharing health and safety. To get going on Project Plus, if you've got a current project where you're thinking to yourself, man, that would be really, really good, you can upgrade any current project to Project Plus now. You can do so just in your project options in your hub. Or the next time you order a project, it's just going to ask you, hey, look, would you like to make this a Project Plus site or not? And so it's pretty easy just there at setup. But like anything HazardCo, okay, if you've got questions about Project Plus, you've got questions about health and safety, you've got just questions about anything that's going to make your health and safety life a little bit easier, 0800 555 339. Our HazardCo experts like Tom are all but a phone call away, and they're part of your membership. We are here to take the hard graft out of health and safety for you. So for us, Project Plus was all about solving your problems and how are we going to up your health and safety game on site in a way that's really easily manageable for you there in the hub and easily translatable to actual real life health and safety on your construction sites. So I really hope that you've found this really, really useful. Give us a call if you need anything at all, and just thank you so much for attending today, our webinar on Project Plus.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for having us.